Hello, beautiful listeners out there. This is the Nothing, Never Ever Better Podding Cast. This is a flashback dedication from the Mitch Mahal and Sam Bone podcast. And we just want to dedicate this to Buchanan, a young man who left us way before his time. So we just want you to take some time and have a listen. Love ya.
What's up, people? It's the Mitch Mahal and Sam Bone show coming back to you. I'm your man, Mitch Mahal, and to the right of me is my ace boom coon, Sam Bone. And today we got a special guest with us, man, Louis Buchanan, our technical producer, the one and only. What's going on, Louis? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be here. I haven't seen you guys in a little while, so it's always fun getting together.
Right. Hey, Sambone, for the millions and millions out there, they don't know. This is the lost tape. This is the lost tape that we've all talked about. Millions and millions. We challenge you to find the lost tape because it's lost out there in the internet space. The first fan that brings us the lost tape of Louis Buchanan's first appearance on the Mitch Mahal and Sambone show, they're going to win that awesome prize that we talked about, Sambone.
They'll never be happier.
They'll never be happier. They'll never be happier, Sambo.
Yeah, that episode was gold.
Yeah.
It was gold. It was a great way to bring you in, man. You know what I mean? It was a great way to introduce you to the millions and millions. We had a great conversation, but it's lost out there. It's lost out there in this space. Yeah. We don't know what it is. We can't describe it. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know where it's at, but it's out there. So just find it, millions. Find it. You know what I mean? But Louis Buchanan's on the show, our technical producer. We couldn't do it without him. You know what I mean? He's the reason why the Mitch Mahal and Sambone show is where it is. We just bring it to you all the time, and he's the reason why it reaches your ears. So Louis, man, what's been going on with you, man? How you been recently, man? What's been going on in your world these last few days?
Taking care of these kids I got. They been working me pretty bad, you know what I'm saying? Right. They constantly fighting. I'm not sure how I'm gonna work this, man.
Yeah, it's gotta take breaks.
My boy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's the family man thing.
Yeah, I like that about him though, because he's so wild, but that's like my little man. So yeah, I think it's kind of cute at the same time,
Yeah,
but,
no doubt.
I've just been doing the family thing, we're getting ready for a summer vacation here shortly. We was planning going to the beach, of course, but
beautiful beach.
Yeah, but think about getting on some roller coasters, man, by the time the summer's out.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I love the roller coasters.
I like some.
Now, hold on now. I've known Mitch Mahal for a while. But I never seen Mitch Mahal on any roller coaster.
Mitch Mahal rides roller coasters, man. I love roller coasters, man. For the millions and millions out there, man, I am a daredevil, man. I have leaped off buildings. I have jumped over canyons. Mitch Mahal is a man of all trades, man. I do it all, man. I do it all. Mitch Mahal does it all, man.
That sounds like a slogan.
Dude, run for president on that.
That is how I do, man. That is how I am, man. I am a man of all trades. I build a deck and I ride a roller coaster at the same time.
Oh man.
See, I can't handle that first big drop. I like the ones that shoot you out like you're a bullet. I don't mind going fast, and I like going upside down and the twists and the turns. All that shit is fun. But that first drop where it's not even the sickness. It's just like it's always straight down, and like you just feel like you're gonna die.
The whole anticipation of it whilst the roller coaster's
cresting the hill. It's inching up, and there ain't shit you can do. Scream till Scream until you can't scream anymore, and nobody is gonna stop this roller coaster where it's at and come and climb up there and bring you down on a really tall ladder. It's never gonna happen. No, you have to ride that thing down.
Once you have to think, there is no turning back. You cannot ask for a restart.
Now, once it goes,
reset, you are committed to it. You have to go through it.
Hey, do you remember that time we went with our cousin and we got on that ride, and we got stuck on it? Do you remember that? And we was looking down at you. We was looking down, and you was like, "I told you, B, I ain't getting on them things." See, that's why I'm saying I never known him to get on any roller coaster.
Mitch Mahal, man, you know, I didn't get on that roller coaster. Lewis Buchanan is right. You know, great amusement park, you know. But I did not get on that ride, and I do remember you hanging upside down and me telling you, "That's what I told you, B." I do remember that, and I do remember my point being made exactly clear. So, but don't get it wrong. Mitch Mahal is a man of all men, jack of all trades. I do it all, man. You know, podcasts are just many of things of the Mitch Mahal trade. So Lewis Buchanan. You know, me and Sambone, we got our upcoming season coming along, coming out with football, man. Are you gonna bring little man out and have him play and go through conditioning? Is he gonna be a part? Is he gonna be a part of the season this year?
You know, I talked it over with the wife, man. She is so against it, but
now get the millions and millions. Why there are people out there against football?
You know, it's the same excuse for all the mothers across the country. They don't want their baby hurt. They don't want their baby hurt. But, you know, I know the coaching staff of that team, you know, and I just know they won't put him in a position to get hurt.
That's Mitch Mahal's. If you didn't know millions and millions, if you find the lost tape, you would know that Lewis Buchanan here is my brother. And his son is my nephew, so he would be on my team. And there's no way that Mitch Mahal would let anything happen.
You'd let somebody hit him
to
as hard
young
as they
Buchanan.
could. You would let somebody hit him as hard as they could. You would let that happen.
I would want that.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Anybody.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm saying I would not put him in positions to get. I wouldn't say the first time he's hitting. I mean, he's hitting little Jimmy Mahal. You know what I mean? Like, he can't go out there and hit little Jimmy right off the top.
No, of course not. Of course not. But we don't want them to, and yeah, they're not hitting till their pads on, and there's proper ways and there's correct ways, but they don't want to see. I don't know if does every kid cry?
I think every kid cries.
I think okay.
Every kid cries, especially their first year of playing football. Anytime you play football for the very first time, you are going to cry. It's a new experience.
All a mother does is try to stop her kids from crying all day.
Fair enough. I just like looking at it from the other point of view, you know, because not everybody out there agrees with, you know, their kids playing football. You know what I mean? And so I just like to hear the perspective of why, you know what I mean, of why people don't like their kid. And I can understand that, you know, you don't want your kids to get hurt. It is a very violent game, you know what I mean? And I can't promise you that, you know, that he won't get hit. But at the same time, you know, those are the risks that you take in obviously any sport you play.
You know, I think he really needs this, just for the simple fact that over the years I've seen his athletic ability like really start coming out, and he needs like, you know, a medium for that. You know what I'm saying, to help guide him to a better, a higher skill level. You know, like. I think he could be really good at sports if
standing around
he's
a bunch
given
of
the
other
opportunity.
guys, like, and they're all doing it, and it's like,
Yeah.
I can do it, and then all of a sudden you can do it better than half those guys can do it, and that it's.
So how do you get him? Then how do you get him out there on the football field? How do you get him to the practice?
I gotta sneak him out, I guess.
Has she been out to any of the games? Does she
Yeah,
know?
she has.
So she knows how hard they hit in this league.
I think
They're not. It's not Ray Lewis.
I think the first game she went to, one of the boys got hurt on the field, and he was laying down crying, and like like everybody walked back to the huddle, and I don't think anybody noticed the boy crying for a minute. And she was like, "Is this what happens?" You know, like. And then finally someone reacted, but she didn't like the idea of just seeing someone's little baby down there crying. You know.
This is football, man.
It's football, man.
It's football, man.
Well, we did have a kid on the team last year that would fall down and pretend to cry every single play. And
every play.
And other teams would see it. Or, you know, it'd be the first play of the game or the first play that he was in on. And they'd be like, Coach, got a man down. And we just know it's just...
Sambo, me and Sambo used to look at each other, Mitch Mahal and Sambo used to look eye to eye, lock eye to eye, and be like, it's that kid.
He ain't down.
He's not.
He'll be up.
He'll get up in a second.
Wait till it's down to 2 seconds. And then he'll be up and he'll be ready to go. Couldn't break the kid of it.
After a while, you just want to be like, throw some dirt on it. Go on.
Just go on, man. You know, but yeah, there are people out there though that feel that football's a violent sport, and sometimes it can be chaotic where you don't see a kid injured. You know what I mean? Until you look back and say, hey, I only got 10 guys coming back to the huddle. Oh, there's my man down. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's a knee-jerk reaction, and sometimes, you got to really evaluate the situation. You know what I mean? So I can see the point of view from mothers out there that they don't want their kids hurt. But there's also that point of view out there that says, man, you got to go out there and at least give it a try. And, see what sport's good for you. Maybe football's not good for you.
1 year in football goes a long way in every other sport.
1 year in football does go a long way in every sport. It really does. Because you don't find brotherhood in any other sport than what you would in football.
Well, I think it makes you a rougher player. If you're a basketball player and you play 1 year of football, you're going to get more rebounds now in basketball. Because you're not afraid to put your body on somebody where you might be. And, there's a lot of soccer players who resist contact. And, there's some rugged soccer players, but a lot of kids that play soccer, because there's so much space, they don't want to go up there and crack heads with stuff. And but if you play football for a year and you get used to banging around, then all of a sudden you get to become that guy who's not afraid to go up and get the ball, whether it's soccer or basketball or, even baseball. Are you scared to run over the catcher or not? And if you play football, you will run over the catcher.
Absolutely. Football brings out the aggressiveness in a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or can you be aggressive? Can you have controlled aggressiveness?
Nowhere else in society do we allow children to be that brutal with one another. And
it brings out the competitor in them. So Lewis Buchanan, I hope to see little Buchanan out there. If we have to do a sneak move, or
I think he's gonna be out there. You know, if I got kidnapped him for a couple of hours, I'm gonna take that chance.
Yeah, it should be
retaliation.
Yeah, it should be a good time. It should be a fun season. So I can't wait. I'm excited.
I'm excited about it too.
Yeah. Lewis Buchanan came to a few football games last year. What was your impression of the football games that you saw last year from a fan point of view?
Let me just give you my point of view from a brother. I think the way you guys handled the team was very professional. It was very it was just laid out really nice. Like the kids understood the plays. They understood why they was running a certain route. It looked organized compared to the other teams. All the other teams looked sloppy. The kids didn't know what to do, and I was really impressed. Really impressed. And not just saying that because we brothers or whatever, man. But I was impressed with it.
Well, thank
it looked like a little mini organized, team, man. It was impressive. Seeing little kids doing that, man, that was awesome.
Well, thank you, man. Mitch Mahal tries to keep it real, try to bring the realness, to the kids every single practice, So yeah, it was a great season. So I can understand then, Sambone, why the people were so mad at your meeting. I can understand why people would be so upset at the coaches meeting.
They weren't upset, but I could just tell that. Some loud bottles.
Bottled water, man. Make the crack.
I mean, they were mad. They just wanted to win the tournament last year, and we got to win the tournament last year. And
people say we sabotaged this orchestrated jamboree. The football team put themselves in a position to win.
There was a hint towards that.
People were mad at Sambone and I's football team.
I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to do though?
Yeah, but I mean, teams were getting beat by like 112 to 21. Unofficially kept scores, of course,
Right.
Hypothetically, So, but we all kept score and we beat that team 120 something to 21. So people were really mad. People were mad. There is a section of the millions and millions out there that are very upset with the football team. And Sambone, like we said before, they would all celebrate and congratulate if you went 0-8.
Yeah.
People would have a little party. People would laugh and talk about it.
Laugh and talk about it?
Oh, they would laugh and talk about it.
Yeah, we're the Yankees of this league right now, where everybody can just unify against us, and so be it. I mean, when you score touchdowns like that, you don't forget it.
No, you don't. You don't.
So, but we had a nice set of kids, okay? They could do some damage, and whenever you have. We weren't just running one kid up the gut, beating it to death. That's not what we were doing. We had multiple weapons. I mean, 4 or 5 different kids would score. So it's like if one kid would get 3 touchdowns, he did stop getting the ball. We'd give it to somebody else, but then he would end up getting 1 and then 2. So, I mean, 4 or 5 different kids would score per game in different ways. But you can't, all you can do is just like, well, you can have a shot. Like, you can't, if you have the downs, you have to play them. And you're not going to give it to some kid who can't handle the ball, who's going to get creamed and hurt. You have to give it to a kid who is capable of taking a hit. And if he's capable of taking a hit, he's going to have a couple moves. He's going to be slightly strong, and he's going to be able to go for the goal. And if he can get it, if he can see it, why wouldn't he go for it? And why am I telling him not to do that? So they went for it, and they got him. And it was like, but because of the rules a little bit, we had the ability to do that. And, the rules have been changed now, so games are going to be a little more even.
What about, like, okay, scores 21-76, right?
All right.
Around what point do y'all be like, okay, let's run some plays that will give the other team some encouragement to, try a little harder, you know what I'm saying?
Well, on defense, what you can do on defense
when
is
you're,
you can
when
take
you're
your good kids out.
at 100 points, right? Are you still driving towards the goal? You know what I'm saying? Are you?
Well,
how do you not? What else do you do?
Yeah,
Run
are you
backwards?
doing that for your kids?
Well, here's
because I don't know. I can see a lot of parents mad. I can see why. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see my boy playing on the other team. I'm like, yo, Mitch, you really gonna be running?
look, millions and millions. First off, you have to understand what Mitch Mahal was dealt, like what Sambone always
It was a perfect
says.
storm.
He's dealt with, you get dealt with the cards, and my cards just happen to be full of spades. Okay, I have the Joker,
Like
the big Joker.
Your team is like you scouted for them.
I have
team.
a serious team, and I'm fortunate to have my son, little Jimmy Mahal, lead the team, and a lot of his friends are just as great as he is, and it is just a pleasure to go out there and watch these kids play. But see, here's my problem with the way they did this and why I changed the league. I actually made a difference and changed the way the leagues played because of the way we did what we did last year. Was they gave me the ball 10 times in a row. If you give me the ball 10 times in a row, I cannot promise you That out of those 10 straight plays that you give me, that my team will not score, were that talented. I would give kids the ball that didn't even deserve to have the ball yet that year, and they were still scoring 5-6 touchdowns a season. So it's not like I would purposely go. But see, you know what I did was that I had the opportunity actually to manufacture games. I actually put all my young guys in on defense, and we would be down by 3 touchdowns actually. A lot in games. I'd make us go down a lot in games just so the kids learn how to come back from adversity. And when we almost lost to a great team out there around our way by doing that. And the kids battled back and won. And I think that's what helped us win the Jamboree last year. I think it built the adversity that the kids needed to be able to know what it felt like to come back and win. So I don't think there's a certain point in time, Lewis, where you're like 76-21, shot let off the gas.
Yeah.
Those kids have to tackle.
See, but I think that may be the mentality of the other parents.
Oh yeah, well that's.
Well, it would be my mentality if I was on that team too.
Right. I mean, that's good that we cleared that up. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that word out.
Yeah, but
you just have very talented kids on your team, and
what also happens is like when a team can get when the win becomes overloaded and the weak, I don't want to say the weak team, but the losing team can just get beat and their shoulders are down and their heads are down. They stop giving a shit.
Right.
And our guys are all pumped up. Hey, we're scoring another touchdown. So I mean, they still have all their juice, and the other team is just like, who gives a fuck? Like, because it was over a half an hour ago, and now they're just like, can it please be over? And that's not the mindset you should be in when somebody else is on top of their world, shaking and baking, and it's like that. So that's what happens to it. I mean, they just get into that shoulder shrug. So and then it's hard to reverse that, even once they're in it. Like, yeah, maybe, but all right. So occasionally, yeah, scores got a little bit out of hand, but Mitch Mahal, can you step in your transmogrifier real quick?
Transmogrifier!
All right, you are the man holding the briefcase in the WWE.
Alberto Del Rio! But you already know that.
Okay, what would Alberto Del Rio say if his football team were up by a considerable margin?
He said, look at you little chihuahuas. I dominate you because me, Alberto Del Rio, is my destino to beat you by 121 points. And destino, people, is destiny.
Alberto, don't you think that's a little harsh? These are children.
Ha! Children. What do children got to do with Alberto Del Rio? Children wash my scarves.
I think that settles it right there. I mean, that's case closed.
Like I say, people, bad things happen to bad people.
But it's something they get used to over the years, and when they're in high school years, like if they don't go to the championship, they can take it better than. Well, I guess it's harder when you are in high school and like you're trying so hard to get somewhere. I don't know. Like, is it good for them to be experiencing that now in their lives so it'd be easier for
What
them?
is the proper value that you should take from that situation? Should you try as hard as you can all the time, or should you be considerate of your competitor? And
I think if you have a group of kids that are capable of doing great things, you do those great things with those kids. Because one, Mitch Mahal and Sambone, we have a responsibility to teach these kids their habits. They're little kids. The habits you teach them now, the way you teach them to throw the ball, the way you teach them to get set, is the same way they're gonna do the same things when they get to high school. You're the first person to ever mold them into a football player.
Right.
And so it's very important that you do exactly as much as they can handle. Whatever their little brain can absorb, you push those kids to the limit because when they get older, nobody's going to take it easy on them. They're always going to have to get pushed to the limit.
So at this level, is it the coach's responsibility, or maybe not his responsibility, but is that when a coach should step up and really show the kids how you react to losing?
I think you teach the kids how to prepare. I don't even think it's about wins and losses. I hate to talk about wins and losses because I believe wins and losses take care of themselves by the way you prepare. If you prepare a football team the right way in practice, you practice more than you play in football. It's the only game where you practice 4 days a week and you have one game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Basketball, you play 3 games. Soccer, you're playing 3 games. You know what I mean? You're playing games all the time. This game, you practice more than you play. So if you go out there and you prepare and you have great preparation and you teach your kids determination in practice and teach them how to be hard body, it doesn't matter what happens on the weekend.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whether you win or lose, those kids know what it takes to win, to what it takes to prepare to win. Maybe they don't have the talent. Maybe the kids don't have the talent to win, but they were prepared to win the game. You go out there and you still stay competitive.
See, ladies and gentlemen, do you understand why my brother here, Mitch Mahal, is just one of the greatest coaches that I've known? I mean, he not only does he understand sport, he understands how to get through kids and teach them the right way to, be a player. So I really respect him for this, man. I that's why I would like to see my boy playing out there because I know you show him the ropes, teach him the right way to be a player, man.
Oh yeah,
that's what he needs.
Yeah, I believe in trying to get the max out of every kid that comes into my possession. If you come into my football team, I'm going to make sure that I do whatever I can do to make sure that you walk out of there a better player. Not only a better player, but knowing what it's like to have fun with a group of boys. Know what it's like to build a team. Know what it's like to take care of the guy next to you. That's one thing about football. You're not out there by yourself. You don't ever have to do anything by yourself. Maybe you have to make a tackle by yourself in the wide open space on occasion, but you rarely have to do anything in football by yourself. You always have a group of kids around you that either care about you or respect you and want to see you do good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time here, starting up in 3 days.
Yeah.
So we will know by our next podcast. We will know what we are holding. We are going to be able to predict the season after the first day.
I feel like we'll be able to get a good grasp on where we're going to be after the first day. Absolutely.
Yeah. And we'll let you know. All right, so we're gonna keep everybody posted on football. We're gonna switch things up right now. We're gonna do a grandpa flashback moment. This is what we're gonna be talking about whenever we're grandparents and we're old timers and our grandkids are gonna be like, what, like that tone. So I want to talk about telephones. The old home phone that was in the kitchen, and that was the only phone in the house. Is that about right?
Right, then everybody upgraded the cord to like the 50-foot jump.
Mitch Mahal, Louis Buchanan at the 50-foot cord, Joe. Our households had their old phones where we could stretch them anywhere they needed to be, man.
And there would be, I remember in the beginning of Alf, there was the girl, whenever her name was up on the screen, and with her name from real life, she was sitting in the closet with the telephone, and they open the door, and she gets embarrassed, whatever, pulls it shut. But that was a normal thing to sit somewhere like the closet or just whispering really quietly. But there's two things that are gone that are never coming back. And that, when it relates to phones, and that's girls and pranks. Like pranks are, well, I guess you can still do a prank calling like a public place and recording it or something like that. But calling people's houses is over. Cell phones have just ruined that. And
we should have the first prank call of the Mitch Mahal and Sambone show.
We're gonna call people.
Why not, man?
We're gonna prank call people. Well, all right, but what about the whole? They're gonna know it's Mitch Mahal and Sambone.
How they gonna know what's up, man? We be like,
you gonna buy a burner?
No, we be like, hey, you want to buy apples? 50 cents for 50 apples. And just hear what people have to say, or just tell people that we calling from a certain company, man, and we wanted to know if they want to be interested in our product.
Or call the grocery store and be like, you guys got any chickens down there?
Yeah.
Like live chickens though. They gotta be alive.
You don't got live chickens. You don't got live chickens. Why don't you got live chickens? We should have the first prank call on the Mitch Mahal and Sambone show, man, and just give it to people.
Okay.
Give it to the millions and millions out there. You know, we get terrible call-ins all the time about how, you know, they hate our show. You know what I mean? So maybe we should get back to the people that hate our show and prank call some people's asses. I'm sorry, I got completely off topic. Sambone, what you was
Okay,
going?
prank calls? No what?
Well, we could. We get some calls in here of people shitting on the show, and we save their messages, so we'll play them for some of these times. But whenever they call in, we got their numbers, so yeah, we should prank call.
We should prank call.
Prank call those people that call in and just complain.
Yeah.
Complain about everything we say.
Right.
Yeah, we're so captivating. It's hard not to listen to the Mitch Mahal and Sambone show.
They just be listening, just mad as hell.
Just man,
They like it.
they got that mean mug face. Everybody out there knows that mean mug face, that just mean looking grill with that eyes twitching a little bit, you know, with your lip curled up a little bit, you know, and they just listening, just seething at Mitch Mahal and Sambone. You know what I mean? But Mitch Mahal and Sambone maybe could have got a lot of people upset because, you know, earlier in our podcast, you know, Sambone had some terrible stories, you know, some heartbreaking vacations. So I can understand why people get mad and just mean mug us and just cannot relate to the Mitch Mahal and Sambone show, but just want to keep listening.
You know what I was thinking about recently? If like that's what we're doing right now is we're putting out a podcast and some guys make that mug face while they listen to it. You know how there's like stand-up comedians? What if there was somebody that instead of making people laugh, they made people do other emotions, like gather people in a big room and they just told stories and made everybody go, oh.
Like
for an hour,
just feel bad for me club.
No, I don't know if it's feel bad, but it's just like, and then my kitten fell into a basket of muffins. Oh! Just an hour of those. Like if you could set up an hour, if you could just line it with 50-year-old.
Oh, Sambone, that would be hilarious.
But we're doing that in a way. I was trying to think of a different emotion you could do that, and we do it with anger. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. They do it. They sign up for it.
Yeah.
They're the ones pushing the buttons.
Yep. I agree, man.
Alright, so what's up with the phones, yo?
Alright, so I was thinking the other day about how hard it was to stand in your kitchen in front of your family as a, you know what I mean, somebody that is, 13, 14, 12, whatever, like, and so you got to be in your kitchen in front of your family calling a girl,
right,
whose father's going to answer. So you have to talk to her father first and foremost, ask for his daughter, and he knows what you are, and then she gets on the phone, and then you have to talk to her in front of her family, and you know that she's in her kitchen on a short cord, and her parents are listening, and then like, that's tough.
Yeah.
That is tough, and that's a phone call kids don't have to make anymore.
But you know, One good
Not
thing
a lot of
about
kids.
back in the day was
A lot of kids don't have to make that call anymore.
you could get caught being on the phone and hang up, and the only thing your parents could say was, "Who were you talking to?" You know, but now with caller ID, they don't ask that. Like, why you talking to? Let's see here, Jim.
Yeah.
You talking to Jim? You know, even for 47 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, you can really find out. You know, your kids' conversations nowadays, man. You know, technology has changed in such a way where you just don't have those quarter phone.
Man, but you used to be able to like be talking on the telephone, and whoever the asshole in your family was would be a story or two stories up on another telephone, listening in on your conversation, and you just don't have no clue.
Like, do you remember when caller ID first started coming out and everybody had their own little caller ID box?
I had to pack.
You'd be like having your friends come in like, yeah, what's up, man? I'm just gonna check to see who called. You know what I'm saying, on my caller ID box. Like, that used to be the shit, right?
True.
Like,
Yeah.
so when cordless phones first came out, you know, the technology was really bad, so you could listen to people's conversations on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I remember me and Mitch over here. We had our own little podcast back in the day. Remember?
Yeah.
We used to
We used to get on the radio. Believe it or not, this isn't the first time Mitch Mahal been on the radio. We used to invade. Radio stations and used to just put our broadcasts on the people's stations. You could tune
talking
in.
about nothing.
You could tune
Making
in.
funny noises.
You can tune in with another radio, and we would be able to jack that frequency where people could listen and tune into what we were saying.
Really?
Yeah.
We were like the first hackers to be.
Yeah, we were the first hackers in space. Yeah. No, I don't even remember what it was really about. Honestly,
That's
to tell you the
awesome.
truth.
You tapped into a radio station.
Yeah.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah. It was a pretty good time. We didn't realize what we were doing then, but now like we think about it now, it's like wow, like
FAA violations.
right.
All right, so how it used to be was party lines. You guys know about party lines?
No. It was a party line.
When phones first came out, there would be whole neighborhoods that were just sort of in one
network
connection. Yeah, one network. And everybody, so say there would be 8 houses on that street, all 8 houses would be running through the same network, and then if they wanted to talk to somebody, they would, tap in and call the operator, and the operator would then connect them. But anybody else on that street, if they wanted to, could pick up their phone and they could listen to that conversation, and it would be like, hey, I'm on the party line, get off, I'm talking here. But like there would be 8 houses that all live right next to one another, that all know one another, that at any point in time could just pick up and listen to other people's conversations.
That's like back when the old phones, like they didn't have any dialer on it, they just pick up and they knew the operator.
There's a woman on the other side on roller skates.
Susan, can you connect me to the butcher? You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta pick up some meat. Like that's old school stuff, man.
Right.
I mean, that was before my time.
Oh yeah, before my time too, but
I mean, I watched movies.
Here's a little masterpiece of nonsense I wrote here a couple of years ago, 3 years ago.
That suits me.
A lot of folks request this for other folks. Nobody hardly ever requests it for themselves. Thank you. There it is. If you mind your business, you won't have time to be fooling around with mine. Let's go. If the wife and I are fussing, brother, that's all right. 'Cause me and that sweet woman's got a license to fight. Why don't you mind your own business? Mind your own business. 'Cause if you mind your business, then you won't be minding mine. Oh, the woman on our party line's a nosy thing. She picks up her receiver when she knows it's my ring. Why don't she mind her own business? Mind your own business. Well, if you mind your business, then you won't be minding mine. All right, Don.
now especially with text messaging, it's just most first encounters are probably never spoken anymore like that. Asking a girl out, I bet the majority of them, for kids growing up through middle school or whatever, like I bet it's always either a text, like hi, how you doing type stuff, or it's gonna be Facebook or whatever the social media will be over the next 10 years.
Yeah, I think that's kind of.
But it's gonna be written a lot of the time. It's gonna be, did she friend me? Did she accept my friendship?
Right.
And that's gonna be the first step before you go up and just like holler at a girl in middle school.
I think that kind of is a bad thing, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually getting up the courage to, ask a girl out, like, I think that's a valuable thing in a young man to do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because Mitch Mahal used to just walk up on you. Hey there, pretty thing. Come around my way. And either they come or they don't. You know what I mean? Mitch Mahal, man, I can do it all.
Yeah, I wish that. I don't know. If I were going through middle school, I probably would have loved to have had Facebook to just be like, did she accept my friendship? And that's knowing at least step one. But I had to go through the trenches and walk up to girls, and oh man,
yeah, kids really don't have it like we used to have it, and that's crazy because that's really just like a 15-year, 20-year gap. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, grandpa flashback moment. Man, we're gonna have a bunch of them. We're born in the 1900s.
Yeah.
People are gonna be, what?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. 1900s?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. We gonna have those grandpa flashback moments.
We're gonna be talking about when we were driving cars before we get into whatever.
Old saying my pops always says when I'm riding with him, if we're going through town, he was like, I remember all this used to be cornfield.
All of it used to be
That's
cornfield.
a straight grandpa moment, right?
Yeah, that's a straight grandpa flashback moment right there. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of them we have, man. There's a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna come at you with more of them.
Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean?
Flashback moments. We'll have more in the future.
Grandpa flashback moments. I like that. Trust me, it will be coming soon. So fellas, it was a great show. Episode 7. Just the outpouring of love that we get for the Mitch Mahal and Sambone show. We love it. Continue to support us. Continue to go out there, click on us, subscribe us. Look us up on the internet. Give us call-ins. Let us know what we doing right. And of course, for all you haters out there, you pretty soon you're gonna get a call from Mitch Mahal and Sambone, and you ain't gonna like the way it feels. Just like we don't like the way it feels when you leave tough messages on our answer line.
It's gonna mess up their whole day.
Yeah, it's gonna mess up their whole day, and that's what we're gonna go do. We're gunning for y'all. But everybody, it was a pleasure to come back to you for episode 7. Louis Buchanan, thanks for coming on to the show this evening, man. We're always thankful to have you out here. You're the reason why the millions and millions touch this show. So thank you very much for what you do, man.
Yes,
thanks for being on, man.
All right.